You're listening to Off-Road Garage Podcast, and here are Jason and Jim.
And we're live. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on?
You know, I'm pretty stoked today.
I know. It's a pretty big day.
Pretty big things happening.
I'm pretty happy.
We got the president of Mickey Thompson Tires. Dominick's on the line with us right now. Are you there, Dominick?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good morning. And I believe the senior product manager of Light Truck is with us. Ben, you there, Ben?
You got it. How you doing, guys?
Hey, guys, we're great. How you guys doing this morning?
So excited.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
So I'm not going to lie. The first time we saw the email, we thought it was spam. And Mickey Thompson Tires wants to talk to you about a big release. And I was like,
Sure.
Pretty pumped, though. What's going on?
There's some oceanfront property in Arizona also on that same email, I think.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, I already set my social security number down to be vetted, so we're good.
You need the date of birth also, right?
Yeah. No, fantastic. We really appreciate you guys making the time for us. Yeah, we're stoked. I mean, this has been something that we've worked on for the last 2.5 years. And, you know, we view ourselves as a traction company first, above everything else. And this is the single most important product launch we've had in the history of the company. And that's why we wanted to take the time and jump on the phone with you to kind of walk through those pieces and kind of the genesis behind it. And, you know, Ben is going to certainly walk you through all the F&Bs and take any of those more technical related questions, but just really excited to take the time to go through this with you today.
Yeah, and we appreciate it because, like I said, we were super excited when we seen that. And, you know, some of the pictures you sent us, it looks like it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're really, really excited about it. You know, it hits the market on April 5th. That's when we'll officially start shipping product into. But I can tell you the anticipation from all the things that we're seeing and into the trade and the pre-orders is more than double our expectations. So, again, we really think that this is going to be a home run unlike anything we've ever done.
Yeah, well, pretty much all your tires are pretty much like identifiable in the off-road community. I'm like, oh, he's got Mickey's.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see him across the off-road park
it's just gonna join that family of, oh man, look at that guy.
Well, and looking at the tire, I'm not a technician, but it's filling that role nicely. It looks like of like work truck on Monday through Friday, and then mud truck or trail truck on the weekends. Is that kind of what you were going for?
Yeah, absolutely. It's true all-terrain hybrid. And you know, Mickey Thompson, back in 2005, we released our first all-terrain hybrid, the original Baja ATC, and it did. I mean, it proved to be a really big success, combining both the benefits of a traditional all-terrain and a mud terrain. And then several years later, we replaced that product with the Baja ATC T3. Now, since we brought that product out, several competitors have come to market with their own versions, like an all-terrain hybrid type product. So we really did our homework with this thing, and we did a ton of research, a ton of testing, exploring top consumer benefits. Essentially, so we could build the ultimate all-terrain hybrid type product.
That's awesome. Yeah, it definitely looks like it fits that mold.
It does perfectly, and we're seeing a lot of that. We were talking about it yesterday with our last guest, just how that's kind of the progression of the sport right now. Is a lot of dudes are building one rig for everything. Yep. I mean, it truly is. I mean, it's a do-it-all type tire, and what a lot of folks don't understand, there's quite a bit that goes into an all-terrain hybrid type product to make it so it performs both on-road and off. And not to get too technical, because I could talk for all day long about this stuff, but really, I mean, like when you look at the tread-to-void ratio for this new tire, the tread-to-void ratio is actually more comparable to a traditional like 5-rib all-terrain. However, the tread block count, like the quantity of tread lugs on the tire, it's actually more comparable to a traditional mud terrain. So you're going to have these big blocky elements for stability on the highway, and then you're going to have these wide voids for off-road traction and aggressive appearance. So, I mean, really, like you said, I mean, folks can do a kind of build a do-it-all rig, something you drive Monday through Friday and then go play with all weekends, or if you're really fortunate, play with all week long. But yeah, it's we're pretty stoked about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and anybody's able to play all week long and they're hiring, go ahead and give us a call.
That's right. Sign me up.
Yes, I like
it's on that same. It's on the same original spam email.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I like these industry terms I've never heard before, like tread to void ratio, and it makes sense. I see treads and I see voids, and I can,
yeah. Oh yeah, all right. I'm like, it's got space for mud to fit.
Well, and you can see like it even probably would do pretty well, and this is me from my commercials, watching commercials growing up, but like even pretty well in wet traction. It looks like it's pretty well siped. and it's got the voids in the sidewall to kind of channel water away on the highway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I know,
one of the things that Mickey Thompson does with our premium muds, premium all-terrains, is we use a silica reinforced tread compound, which I know silica is a big buzzword, but typically you see silica used a lot in premium UHP tires and even some premium all-terrains, but it's not very frequently found in a mud terrain or a all-terrain hybrid type product. And it really does. Our latest formulation gives us it still gives you great wet handling, wet braking, cut and chip durability, and lasting tread wear. But what it really did with this product, it gave us a really, really big boost in cold, wet weather traction. We've got these folks with these whipped up diesel trucks, Roush F-150s, Raptors, etc. And the fact of the matter is when you stab the gas, you got to have traction. Mickey Thompson, as you guys know, is all about traction. So this new compound tread design and actually allowed us to achieve 3 Peak Mountain Snowflake certification on sizes 1250, 350, and narrower. And not only did we achieve that certification, but we blew it out of the water. So this thing's an absolute beast in all weather conditions.
We wouldn't know anything about wet, cold weather up here in Michigan.
It's half the season of
you mean
wheeling.
in the northern Riviera? I get it.
Northern Riviera.
It always makes it sound so nice.
Is that you?
Not me.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, let me lost train of thought now. No, I've like I don't know. Personally, I'm like more of a aesthetically, like I look at a tire and like it it either works for me or it doesn't. And just looking at that one, it definitely I like it. It's it's appealing to my eye. So I approve.
You dig? Well, that's one of the one of the top consumer benefits that we identified for this thing. And with Mickey, we spent so much time developing tire for performance, but aesthetics is important as well. USTMA's number one size right now is a 35 full 50/20 for mud terrain, and I know some places you show up on 20s to go mud, and then they might laugh you out of the park. Personally, that's what I run on my rig. But so aesthetics is in this type of product is just as important as function. So with this tire, I mean, just starting at the side biters, they're actually 150% deeper than the side biters on the Baja ATZ P3. So instead of 140 thou, they're actually 350 thou. So they got these deep, massive side biters. So it's aesthetic, but at the same time, it's a traction protection thing as well. We got so much more rubber out there in the shoulders for that added protection and to give you the added bite. There's within the elements, there's variable length, there's variable depth, there's ramped elements, there's chamfer edges. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff going on out there. And then moving over to the tread, like I was talking about earlier, we got these large surface area tread elements on this thing. What's kind of neat about this new tire is it does have an asymmetric pattern, like the Baja Boss mud terrain product does, which means basically we have a different tread pattern on the outside from the inside. It's not directional. You can still the outside's always the outside, the inside's the inside. So you can cross rotate it front to back, whatever you need to do. But the idea is we've got these big chunky elements on the outside, these big blocky elements on the outside for stability. So you got your leveled, lifted Jeep, pickup truck, SUV, whatever. You're doing a lane change. Maybe you're hauling something. You need that extra stability. You're going to get it with this product. However, on the inside, the inboard intermediate strip actually has twice as many elements. So it's going to give you, again, it's going to help quiet that thing down, which that's another top consumer benefit for this type of product is noise. Folks want something that's not going to completely scream at you. And for the folks that do want a tire that'll scream at you, I guess if you never rotate them and you have worn out the front end or whatever on your rig, then they may scream at you eventually. But this thing is really quiet. So the asymmetric pattern is really going to help quiet it down. It's going to help with that all-weather traction. It's going to give you additional biting edges. A lot of neat benefits to the asymmetric pattern on this thing.
So real quick, I know you just said it. I want to make sure it gets kind of covered. This can be rotated in any position on the vehicle, correct? If it's not directional?
Correct, yeah. Yep. Once you mount these things on the rim, the tire plainly says on the outside, and it's just treat it like it's a regular symmetric tire. You can rotate it front to back, cross it, however you want to do. I think that's a pretty common misconception with asymmetric. especially with the Radiolite truck tires, because a lot of folks aren't too familiar with them. So that's that's one of the nice things is you kind of get the benefits of having an asymmetric pattern that you can rotate it however you wish.
Okay. That's awesome. I'll make a lot of this thing, like you said. I mean, you've said it in very scientific terms, and Jason said it as well. My wife, got a little Colorado, and she's like, I want a beefier tire. I want a tire that looks beefy, but she doesn't want to ride around on, maybe like an XTT Pro all the time, like where it's going to be louder.
Yeah.
So something like this would give her that kind of beef look and still perform well, and I wouldn't worry about her driving to work in the snow or the rain. Yeah,
that's the hot ticket for us. I mean, the all-terrain hybrid product has been our most popular product for over a decade, and there's good reason why, right? I mean, it pretty much checks all the boxes. I mean, if you need something for undisputed mud traction and rock crawling performance, we've got our Baja Boss, we've got our Baja MTZP3.
Well, we're gonna have to touch on. We'll touch on that tire in a minute. But.
yeah.
But no, I think you hit on the head right there. It's like the perfect kind of for the overlander, for the weekend warrior. I mean, it definitely checks all those boxes.
Right on. And another thing too. I mean, it's the tread pattern, it's the compound, it's even. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but this thing actually we were able to get it a 50,000 mile treadwear warranty, which when maintained properly. I fully anticipate folks will get more miles out of them than that. That's just kind of, I guess you could say, a worst case for like any application that's going to be seeing some on-road, off-road. But yeah, it's got a 50,000 mile tread worthy on all LT sizes, which for this category, for the all-terrain hybrid category, is very strong.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really good. Especially, the more aggressive off-road you get, you normally lose out on that longevity.
Yeah.
But having that mix of, I mean, if I'm going to go to the store and spend my $1, I'm like, well, I'm going to get the tire with the best warranty generally. And
longest lasting, best warranty.
That, that's going to be perfect. Wife's not going to be mad because it's not going to be loud.
Yeah.
And
it's going to
look good. It's going to do what I need it to do on the weekends. Yeah.
And it'll look, quote, beefy, because beefy is key.
And it looks beefy. It looks good to me. It's not, some, there's a few
one of the big
that are a little goofier. And I'm like, where did you come up with that? But no, you guys hit it on the mark for sure.
You got Jay in his OODA loop. What were you going to say, Ben? Jay gets in that loop and just starts like going down this trail. What were you going to say, Ben?
I do the same exact thing. That's all right.
Okay.
Now, I was going to touch on the sizing for this product line. We're going to have 44 light truck sizes in total with this line. Initially, we're going to have 33 available April of this year. And then the additional 11 are going to come in November. This is going to be Mickey Thompson's biggest all-terrain offering to date. And we even maybe even have some more stuff coming down the road as well, as far as additional sizes for this thing. So, something. Speaking of sizing, I mean, something that Mickey Thompson does is a little unique from a lot of other manufacturers is, for some of the top enthusiast sizes like your 35 12 50 17, 33 12 50 17. 33, 12, 50, 20. What we'll do in a lot of those sizes is we'll offer both a lower load flotation version, and then we'll offer an increased load LT metric version. And we do that for a number of sizes in the line. And the reason we do that is because we don't believe that every consumer out there should be riding on a tire that's developed for a 1-ton diesel. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't need to put a 126 load tire on a Jeep Wrangler or a half-ton pickup or a Tacoma or a trail rig. So what we'll do, because certainly there's benefits to a tire that's not overbuilt for your application, right? It can provide an improved ride. It can increase acceleration. It can help with wear on suspension components. The tire's not overbuilt. So as an example, we'll offer a size for instance, we'll offer a 35 12 50 18 that carries a 118 load. Well, 118 load is going to be great for the majority of the half-ton pickups out there, the Jeeps, the Tacomas, etc. That's very strong for those lighter-duty applications. However, we offer a LT metric variant of that size, which is almost identical dimensionally, an LT 305 70 18, which carries a 126 load. 126 is the highest load that any 3/4 ton or 1-ton pickup comes with. So that's going to cover all those applications. So We could just offer the 305 70 18 and the 126 loads, but it's not ideal again for this lighter duty application. So there's a number of sizes. Actually, we do this in a number of our lines, but this new product line is no exception. We do that for a number of sizes.
And I think we've seen that. Like, I've been in the off-road community since '97-ish, and I've seen that when dudes are just buying whatever's cheap or available. And like, wow, this tire shakes my teeth out when I ride, or it doesn't deflate, it doesn't squish when I deflate it and flex over rocks because it's a heavier load rated than it needs to be for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And I will note too, it doesn't have anything to do with the puncture resistance or durability of the tire off road. More for load carrying capacity. The cartridge is developed to carry a certain load. So you're not going with that lower load tire. You're not sacrificing your durability. I think a lot of folks had that misconception, but that's not the case here.
I got you. So I'll suffer through the teeth jarring ride because I think my sidewalls are better. When realistically, it's not any better for off road.
You're just beating yourself in the truck up for no reason at all. Yeah. But I think that even. Like, you guys definitely did your homework because I know guys who run, like the 3/4, the 1 ton, for work, and they're always looking for, a certain tire, or an aggressive tire like you're talking about, or an all-terrain like you're talking about, and, they either have them or they don't have the right rate rating, and they're stuck with certain, brand X or brand Z, and, wanting like, oh, man, I wish they made those that you have on your half ton for mine, you know what I mean? So I think you guys definitely did your homework, and that's rad. I can put them on my dually F350, or I could, throw them on the Wrangler.
Yeah, for sure.
And have the right size and, like you said, the right, not beating up the Wrangler.
Yeah.
Or undersized for the dually.
Well, and we've seen it too. Like, I mean, you're the truck one. You've always had a truck.
Yeah, always had a truck.
I've driven a Wrangler since I was 16. Mm-hmm. So for me, I've seen the guys that are like, oh yeah, dude, this tire is terrible off road. When it's a great tire, it's just way too much tire for the rig.
Right.
It won't squat it enough when it's aired down, and so the fact that Mickey knows if I say, "Hey, I'm putting them on a 2-door TJ," they're like, "Oh, you should probably go with the lighter rating one, so they actually do what you want them to do,
right?
And don't beat you to death."
Yeah, or you don't have 200 pounds of tire per corner on your Wrangler.
Yeah. Now we do have tires that'll do that for you if you're looking for 200 pounds per corner, but not this one.
Yeah, well, that's because they're about the size of the Wrangler.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that would be something. 58 on a little TJ, that'd be awesome.
Where the tires are touching.
Yeah.
I think you guys have that size, don't you?
Yeah, you know it.
Just because America.
That's right.
What is the biggest tire that Mickey Thompson makes?
That's it. It's a 58 inch. It's actually our Baja Pro XS, which is a non-sticky DOT version of the Baja Pro X.
Which is, and if anyone hasn't, Google that right now and look at this tire.
Not if you're driving.
Not if you're driving. But, like, when you guys came out with that tire, I got to say, I was like, I don't know if it was like a Moonlander or like RC car. I don't know what the inspiration was, but you guys always knock it out of the park with, like I said, it's like a tire that from 100 yards away, you can be like, oh, that guy's got Mickey Thompson's. It was a tire that I had to see in person, and I'm like, oh my God.
Its size. It's a what's actually called a 2158-24, but it's an absolute monster, and it was one of the things. We already had our 54-inch claw, and we're like, well, bring out this new XS line. We got step it up for this thing. So yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't anticipate it's going to be a huge seller, but it's something different. So.
We were in Moab when these first started coming out, me and Jason, and he saw I think they're the sticky X's, and every time he saw them, he went up to the person's rig and was squeezing their lugs on their tires.
Like, it's so squishy.
He was so excited.
I was just it's such an awesome tire. Like I said, every tire I think you guys make, I think you can spot it. It's identifiable. It's not. It's definitely not anything else. When did you guys come out with the original claw? That was like 30 years ago?
Yeah, it was quite a while back. Yeah, we had the original claw and then the claw CTC. Yeah, and it's one of the things at the time. Those were solid performers, and they still. I mean, it's still a great tire. Even by today's standards. But like the Baja Boss kind of stepped it up to the next level. And then if you wanted to get even more aggressive, that's kind of where we came out of with the Baja Pro X and the Baja Pro XS. It just takes that aggressiveness up to the next level. But I don't know if you guys have seen, we actually have, like in our Baja Boss mud, we actually have a sticky version of that.
Really?
Available in 7 and a 40, yeah. And we developed that originally more for like Ultra 4 use, like the 40-inch size.
Okay.
But there's actually seems to be quite a few folks that are buying those things up just for just kind of playing around on the weekends and stuff. But that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. We're kind of Mickey Thompson's getting back to our roots here in the recent years and developing a lot of these competition off-road type products, and then using some of that technology here for these all-terrain hybrids, mud terrains, etc. that are DOT approved. So.
Well, that's kind of the whole point, right? I mean, you've got that high-end line, and then everything kind of trickles down and makes everything else more gooder.
Yep.
More gooder.
I'm talking to a product developer, like the lead guy. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say more gooder and let him figure it out.
I like it.
I want to know I'm really in a garage.
Right on. So what do you guys got in the garage you're in right now? What do you guys working on?
Right now, it's Jason's, some of his junk he got out of the snow. So I got a broken four-wheeler here, and I've got a tractor.
But yeah, out in the yard, we've got a few Jeeps. I got a
Nice.
ZJ on 1 tons, and Jim's got JK.
So yeah, my JK's here right now. It's on 37s.
Whoa, hold on, sorry.
What is that? Oh, it's time to wake up.
Yeah, I gotta wake up.
So my 37 shot JK's out there with I swapped Terraflex axles into it. His 1-ton JK's or ZJ's out there. He's got a V8 ZJ out there, a CJ5
Yeah, that's
out
5.
there, and then we've got a Willys that's growing trees in it.
That's yard art.
Yard art. That's amazing.
Wife loves it.
Speaking of yard art, I'm putting A-pillars on one of my project cars that I have, and I found this fellow online that was selling basically 1/6 of a Mustang, and I went and brought this beast home in my truck, and my buddy and I dropped it in the driveway right in front of my wife's car, and she came out and seen it. She's like, "Oh my God!" It's like I said, it's a firewall, A-pillars, and everything from a Mustang. It's been sitting there for about the last week, so. I'm getting ready for neighbors to call the cops or something like that.
I'll say no HOA, I'm assuming.
Right. That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you gotta have yard art. Really.
Oh, absolutely.
Says to everyone that I like rusty metal.
Yeah.
And I have my tetanus shot.
Yeah. That poor Willie's out there. We always fall in these rabbit holes, and we go way off what we're supposed to be talking about every show.
That's all right.
Okay,
all right.
Good.
Oh.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Well, cool. Is there anything that we're missing? I know you'll talk to these guys about some of their rad designs for days.
Yeah, because they're awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few cool things. Like I said, we could say we keep this going for a few hours if you'd like, but you were talking about earlier, America.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All Thompson light truck products are made in the United States, and we are an American-owned company. And that includes this new all-terrain product, all made right here in the States. And something I want to touch on too about like our carcass that we use on this product. So a lot of our competitors, they use a 2-ply construction or a 3-ply construction. As you know, with radial tires, basically your plies, they take the shortest path possible from one bead, go up over the tread, and then down to the next bead. Well, Mickey Thompson, we do it a little different. With this new product, it actually has what we call the PowerPly XD construction. So basically you have 2 plies that take the shortest path possible bead to bead, and then your 3rd ply is actually laid on a biased angle. What that's going to do is that's going to help with your puncture resistance, so your durability off-road. That's going to give you quicker reaction steering inputs, and that's going to give you greater stability. So it's not just an off-road benefit, right? You picture your lifted Jeep, pickup truck, SUV, whatever. You're doing a lane change. You want that tire to react, especially if you're rolling around on 40s or 37s or whatever. You got all that sidewall. You want that thing to react. So it's going to do that, and it's also going to stabilize really quick too. It's kind of a premium feature, adds a little bit more cost to the tire, but it yields some really nice performance benefits. And it's actually the same carcass we use on our Baja Boss mud terrain. So.
Oh, very cool.
Kind of a neat feature that's a little different than the others.
And that's something that we've talked about. I mean, I daily mine on 37s. Mine's a daily. So I know what you're talking about. I've run a lesser tire before. When you go to turn and you feel the steering input squish the sidewall, and that's it.
Yeah, you don't like that floating feeling of like you're sliding over onto the sidewalk kind of feeling. So now that's huge. It's like, man, I'm so impressed. This is awesome. I love tire tech.
Well, and like you said, I mean, tire tech, American made, which is super rad, and it's hard to find.
Super huge.
And really, realistically, it's in our backyard. Like, we didn't even realize that they're made in our backyard.
Yeah.
Because we always think everything cool comes from like California or Utah or something, and it's like really you're Midwestern, right down the road from us, basically.
Yeah. It's talking about that feeling you get on road on the highway, during lane changes. A service that we offer at Mickey Thompson is, and guys, just I mean, we're not a huge company. We're a relatively small company, and kind of got a neat feel to it. And if you call up here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern time, if you're ever just curious about what inflation pressure you should be running your tires on the highway, we've got staff, our technical department, that can walk you through that in probably less than 5 minutes. All we really need to know is from the vehicle placard, that little sticker that's on your door jamb. We just need to know your factory tire size, your factory inflation pressure, front and rear, which is on that sticker, and then we need to know your new tire size. And then we use the Tire and Rim Association handbook or the ETRTO handbook, and we actually calculate that optimum pressure for you front and rear down to the pound for your tires on the highway. And of course, off road, run them where you feel you need to get that extra bite. But yeah, that's kind of a neat service we provide to help ensure that folks get the best experience out of the tire, and then it provides the longest life it can. So.
I did not know that was a thing. That is amazing.
Right.
I can just call you? Yeah. That's awesome. So many people don't know
call
that.
Us up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to be real, though. How many places are staffed anymore?
Right.
Like, I try to call some place and like, check us out on the website. I'm like, if I wanted to talk to a computer, I would.
Yeah.
I want to talk to Darla down there in product development and ask what size tires I need to run on my thing.
Right.
Just don't call them for that, guys. They're not going to know what size you can fit on a stock, whatever. That's not their job.
Thank you.
Use a Sawzall and fit that 58 like a man.
That's great.
Just don't want you guys to get inundated with, like, hey, I've got this 96 Isuzu Rodeo. What size tire can I fit?
Right. The cool thing is, I mean, there's so many lift manufacturers, leveling kit manufacturers now that have gotten really good about publishing, like, the optimum tire size for their kit, right on their website, or even some of them have gone to the length of, providing you their suggested wheel diameter, wheel width, offset, etc., to ensure that, you have that best setup. I know a lot of folks who like to kind of have a custom look and kind of do our own thing, but for those folks that don't want to mess with that, that's nice that those manufacturers, go the extra mile to provide that information to the consumers. I think that's really cool.
I'm sure that was also preventative because they were probably getting that phone call. Hey, I just bought X kit. What can I run on it? And they're probably like, well, we're going to put it right there in the literature for you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
58s and a Sawzall.
58s are always the answer.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's why I tell everyone.
So when we got this email from these guys about this interview, and I was cleaning out my house, and I found like my original like build plans for the TJ.
Yeah.
37-inch claws were like my dream tire. Everything I found, I was like 16 years old, so I'm like writing this out, and I've got pictures of the claws like in my notebook, like as my original like plan, and so that's kind of been my litmus test for years.
Yeah.
Because it seems like for here where I'm at in Michigan, they work great in snow, they work great in the sand. Like I remember guys used to go Silver Lake and put them on backwards because they were like they're paddles now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know a guy just dominated in the mud with them.
Yeah.
And it was on a Suzuki Samurai.
Well, it doesn't count.
Well, no, they were so light with the aluminum rim. He was like the perfect combo for him. And he just ripped across any mud hole.
So he's the one that went through the bounty hole, and they were like, it doesn't count, right, today?
Yeah. He went through a bounty hole, and after all these giant, trucks on tractor tires got buried, and he literally just basically stayed in the middle of their ruts, went all the way to the end, and they're like, oh, well, we stopped this a while ago. That doesn't count. Because they didn't want to pay a a guy in a Samurai on 33s.
That's correct. Well, guys, anything else that
you know
we
what?
can answer for you?
I do have one question because I've always wondered this, and being that I have the opportunity to ask the president and product designer of a tire manufacturer, how do you guys come up with a tire design? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, well, let's start with the Baja Pro X, which is really called the Benny X. It was 4 pounds of clay and a case of Mountain Dew.
Yes.
So that's kind of where that came from.
That's the answer I wanted to know. I'm like, is this like a bar napkin kind of thing? Like,
yeah, yeah. For Ben, it would be certainly a microbrew napkin.
Okay.
Probably heavy IPA.
Right.
Maybe,
he spilled it
the
on the
7th or 8th
napkin,
one in.
unfolds the napkin, and all of a sudden it's symmetric and looks good.
Absolutely. Maybe a little bit of condensation off of the glass that it's sitting on kind of smears some of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly how it happens. No.
That's exactly.
Ben, go ahead and walk them through the. Ben, if you want to take them through the more formal process.
Yeah, I mean it can go from mild to wild. I mean, with products like the Baja Pro X, like Dominick said, I mean, we literally took, you guys know we manufacture drag slicks as well.
Yeah.
We brought in some drag slicks and had them mounted up on rims and put some air in them, and then like Dominick said, we got some black clay and we just started just messing with it. We had ideas in our heads, but okay, what can we do? We want to get great forward bite, but let's say we're developing a tire for a rock bouncer, right? And I mean, those things, they don't just go straight, right? I mean, they go every which way. So we're like, okay, well, maybe we need something, that has more of like an X pattern to it. And then we're like, well, let's pretend like we're an enthusiast and carve it up as if we're going to carve it up for mud traction, So then we carve it up and say, well, when we carve it up this way, it's going to act like a screw. And we hit the gas, it's just going to kick the back end around. So we're like, we just kept changing and changing and changing. And we're like, all right, I think we're getting somewhere. And then we work with our engineers, and they're an absolutely amazing group as well. I mean, just original thinkers, they think outside of the box, and they're just absolutely awesome to work with. And then we just keep tweaking it. And then we, once we get to, the point where we can order the molds, we get those products in, we'll go out in the field. Sometimes we'll do some hand cuts, try some different things in case we need to make some tweaks, and we'll go from there. And then, with a tire, like it's an example, this new all-terrain, with that tire, we started with something that was already so great, right? The ATZ-P3, which again has been Mickey Thompson's most popular tire for years. So when we had that product, we knew what we already had, and we had an idea where we needed to improve. So we started looking at that and said, okay, well, one of the big things we need to improve on is this cold, wet weather traction, right? Mm-hmm. And, just from developing other products, just R&D, we kind of had some ideas about some different things we could do, through some of the development of the Baja Boss mud program, with that asymmetric pattern. We took some of what we learned from that, incorporated into this, just all different things. We did some different testing with compounds, to essentially come up with this design. So with some products, you kind of have something to start with, but with other products like the Baja Pro X, it's just like you almost said, like bar napkin, right? It's just, it's one of those things that, we spend 6 hours of the day, doing our regular stuff. And then maybe we take an hour and we just grab the clay and we just start throwing it at the drag slick and just saying, okay, well, what if we did this or, change this up? And what's cool too about Mickey, again, we're a small company and we're pretty tightly knit, and I'll have a salesman that'll cruise by and he'll say, oh, what if you do this? And then Dominick will cruise by and he'll say, no, you do this, change this up, and it'll be like, oh, okay, there we go, So it's kind of we got a bunch of creative minds, a bunch of enthusiasts here that are kind of putting our heads together, and a big part of that too is the relationships we have with the enthusiasts. Whether it's at the drag strip, rock bouncers, different ambassadors that we have that do some off-roading stuff. We work pretty close with them to develop all these products. So
I think the most important thing that I heard was that it wasn't like I did math on a computer screen. You're like, right. I got a drag strip and I threw clay at it until it looked super rad, and then we tested it.
Right.
Like that's my favorite part because anybody
Yeah.
can like.
It just sounds like an awesome. Like I just want to be in that office that day. Like it sounds like a good time.
No, 'cause you drive by and mess with his clay and leave.
Put my
Oh,
thumbprint
believe
in it.
me, there was mornings that came in, I'd be like, who stopped by?
Really, guys?
Really?
We're a professional company, guys. Really.
That is inappropriate.
12?
Then the company-wide email goes out like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Stop putting thumbprints in Ben's clay.
yeah, that was my favorite part because like you can actually go look at it and say well, how's cause you said aesthetics are like the soul of it. It has to look cool because no matter how good you tell me it works, if it looks like garbage, I'm not going to run them.
Right. Absolutely. No,
So
I agree with you. And there are those tires out there where I'm pretty sure it's like the step kid just got to design a tire one day.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right.
even make sense. But yeah, no, like I want to build tires out of clay.
I kind of like this version too. We talk about just designs and working with engineers. It's almost like an MMA match. When our projects come up, there's almost like a literal full-fledged boxing match on who's going to get to work on the next one.
that's awesome.
Oh, I can
Because
imagine.
everybody want to work. I mean, everybody wants to work on the cool stuff.
Right.
They just do.
Yeah.
Well, that shows the culture of your company, though, because you've got companies where no matter how cool a company is, the guy's trying to sneak out at 4 o'clock on a Friday. Well, your guys are trying to fight to get the rad projects, to do the cool stuff, to see their design come to fruition on a rock bouncer or a Ultra 4 car or my daily that I beat up on Saturday.
Yep. Yeah, we've got a lot of folks that within our organization that absolutely live for this stuff. They eat, sleep. Our motorsports team, I mean, they're on the road 30, 40 weeks a year. And it's not just Saturday and Sunday. I mean, they make it out to an event on a Tuesday and start setting up, and they're not getting back home until the following Monday, enough time to do their laundry and get back on the road. So
Wow.
that's their lives. And they again, they live for it. And, it's about, build those relationships with the enthusiasts and we work really closely with them, and it really, really helps with the development for sure. One thing that's kind of neat is we don't spend a lot of time cutting apart the competition's product and checking them out and doing forensics and all this other stuff. We try to think out the box with Mickey. You go up to a Baja Pro X or an XS or something like that. It's not going to look or feel like anybody else's stuff out there. It's very different. We take a different approach. So
You definitely hit the mark on that. Because
Yeah.
there is nothing else like that. Like I said, it just so stands out. You're like, what in the Moonlander is that?
Well, man, I think I think that covers everything.
Yeah.
Unless we're missing something that you want to hit, Ben, because I know you said you can talk for days on this.
Yeah. No, I think we covered a lot of the stuff. We got some teaser videos coming out. If folks want to follow our Instagram or Facebook, we got some neat stuff coming out on this new tire. And in case I didn't say it, the new tire is called the Baja Boss AT.
Okay.
So this is the new Baja Boss AT. Again, it's going to be available in 33 sizes in April, and then 11 additional sizes in November for a total of 44 light truck sizes. And then within the next year, we also, just to kind of put a teaser out there, maybe have some non-LT sizes coming too for the folks that don't require a light truck tire, something a little lighter duty. So just something to think about.
Awesome.
Can you touch on what kind of size range are we looking at? Like, what do you foresee this tire kind of maxing out at height wise?
Yeah. So the size lineup for the Baja Boss AT. So we start at 16-inch rim diameter, and then we go up to 24s.
Okay.
So in the 16s, we got two sizes. In the 17s, we actually have quite a few sizes. Same things with 18s. 20s, we've added a tremendous quantity of sizes. Like I said, just because 20-inch wheels have become so popular. And then we have 6 sizes for the 22s, and then actually 2 sizes for the 24s. And speaking of sizes, I mean, we do have several sizes in the lineup that are developed more for your on off-road applications. But, like we talked about, aesthetics is really important. And there's a lot of folks out there rolling around on, 20 by 12, 22 by 12, 24 by 12, 14s, et cetera. And we have a number of sizes in the line that are actually approved for those wheel sizes. There's a lot of folks out there that like to stretch their tires and it just gives me the willies because the tire does not want to do that. I mean, I know it can be done, but it's not recommended. And what I recommend is putting a tire on that rim that's actually approved for it. And like I said, we have a number of sizes that do that. And something just kind of interesting that we did is we have some folks in the industry, some folks we work with that have shops, and a lot of times they'll level out or lift these dualies. And, not everybody wants to put a big blingy, a 24 or whatever on their dually. So we actually developed a 35-inch tire that's actually approved for an OE dually 17 by 6.5 wheel. It's a LT 255 85 17. So it's 35 inches tall, and it carries load range E. It's got a 121 load, which is great for most of those applications, and it's actually approved for that 17 by 6.5. So something just kind of new. That again, something a little different, thinking outside the box and listening to the enthusiast and the customer about what they need.
That's gonna be perfect for that construction worker guy who has got to have the big work truck and got to be able to get out to his equipment in the muddy work, in the muddy construction field. And that's awesome.
I was thinking pizza cutters on the wheelies.
That too.
Just make something crazy out of them. That sounds rad. I love it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks again, guys. We really appreciate the time this morning to kind of walk you through a little bit and how this all started and hopefully what's going to be an unbelievable success story for us.
Thank you so much for reaching out, man. That's great. Sure.
We definitely appreciate it. So I think with that, we're out.
We're out.
All right.
Hit the button.
Hitting the button.